It's big fight week here. I was talking to Lee. I was saying, I think you two could have been the main event. What do you think?
I mean, of course, it would have been fun. I don't know why we weren't the main event, but I think we're definitely that caliber.
Absolutely. Leah was the first woman to headline a big MMA event in Europe, and she's quite a name. But you've been in there with a ton of big names. You got wins over, Misha Tate and Amanda Nunes and Raquel Pennington. Where does Leah McCourt rank up there with the opposition you've seen in the cage?
Every fight is different. Every person is good, and styles make matchups. So you really never know. I don't try to go in with expectations of anyone. I don't try to rate anyone or put anyone on some spectrum. I really have to take every single person seriously, and every fight like it's the fight of my life. And, I'll get the results when I get in there.
Leah McCourt told us that she's never fought a grappler before. How does that change this fight?
I don't know. I've trying to think if I've had that experience. I think when you think about matchups and you think about people you've gone against or people you haven't gone against, of course, there's, boxes you need to tick along the way as you move up in your fighting career. I remember first time I fought a stand-up person, like you have no idea what that means. It's a whole different way of thinking. What are they going to bring? What are they going to be able to do? What am I going to be able to do? It's all part of the overthinking that goes into it. And on paper, we have a lot of the same strengths. So, it'll come down to whose strengths are stronger that day.
You're going to hate this question, but I have to ask it anyway. I saw Chris Cyborg last week. Chris Cyborg says, you're ducking her. What's your response?
She's not even with the promotion. So I don't know how duck someone. She tells me to sign a contract, but she doesn't. She has 2 contracts to sign to even get back in the promotion. So I feel like she's kind of a crazy lady yelling from the street corner right now, just trying to get anyone to talk to her, anyone to pay attention to her. She's always complaining. She always got something negative to say. Like at this point, I just kind of ignore her. And, once those real conversations start happening, then we can do something about it. But right now it's just noise. She's noisy.
My last question for you, Kat, with a win over Leah McCourt, what does that do for you? Where do you go from here?
That's kind of the question. We were both told that this was going to be a title fight. At a certain point, they're saying it's a vacant title fight. And they said it's a interim title fight. And now they're like, well, you know what, let's just have it be regular. And then we'll kind of figure it out as it goes and see what happens there. So right now, I just got to focus on one fight at a time, one breath at a time, one move at a time, and get through the things that I have control over. And we'll have to see what happens after that.
All right here, Kat. So I drew up this question earlier today. After joining Bellator, you've been on a 3-fight win streak, and I was just wondering, are there any adjustments, or were there any adjustments that you made prior to coming to Bellator that you believe to be the key to success?
One pretty huge adjustment. I know I mentioned it on my social media before, but I was I had breast implants, and I had them removed. I was feeling really sick for quite a while with them, and weight issues and anxiety issues and things like that. And I just kind of, I figured it's just life. Like my life has been kind of crazy, and things that I've been through have obviously been work to get through. And I saw someone, and I know someone that had a lot of the same complaints and symptoms about their body that I did. And she, was able to figure out that she was basically rejecting and allergic to her breast implants. And I kind of looked at the things she was going through, and it all looked almost the same. So I researched it, I looked it up, and there's actually an illness that people can have where they're allergic to the silicone in their implants. Even if they're saline implants, the capsules are silicone. And it was a shot in the dark, because it was like, man, I'm going to try this. And if it doesn't work, okay, well, at least I know. But if it works, like I feel like I'm going to be really glad that I did that before my career is over. I don't want to do it after my career is over and find out that it made me feel so much better, and I could have done better in fights, and I could have had easier weight cuts, and I could have just, thrived so much better. So, in October in 2019, I just committed to doing it. I found an incredible doctor in Ohio who works on athletes, and her father was an Olympian. She was an Olympian, now a doctor. And we did the procedure, and within hours, I saw crazy results. My vision was better. I lost a ton of weight. I mean, just even you look at me now walking around, I just am built differently. I'm leaner. I don't have that like inflammation to my whole body anymore. I was able to get off antidepressants. I was able to just deal with a huge mess of health issues that just went away over months and months. And to this day, I still see things that I didn't know were an issue just kind of fading away. I was allergic to almost every food, and I can pretty much eat everything now. And so that was a huge thing that got my health a lot back in order. And, you know, I really encourage people, if they're having unexplained health issues and they have any kind of implant in their body, whether it's, you know, like a whatever, you know, a kneecap or I saw men in that doctor's office with chin implants or calf implants or whatever. Like, some people don't deal with them well, and their bodies reject them, and you can't get it tested because it's your own body rejecting, you know? So looking into things like that, it was a life changer for me. I feel like a better athlete. I feel like a healthier person. I feel like I can be a better, more present mother. Like it really made a difference in my life to make that change. And it was very vulnerable and very scary, but you know, I don't miss it. I don't regret it, and I wouldn't take it back.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And going into this camp, or going into this fight, how was your camp? How are you feeling this fight week, and what can fans expect come Friday night?
I feel good. This was a really smooth training camp. You know, I still felt like I had momentum from my last training camp. This took a lot longer to get this fight than I wanted. I was told I would fight before the holidays last year, and you know, things just kind of kept being postponed, obviously because of the weight class issues with what's next. And you know, this fight came up. It came up when it came up. So you know, here we are. But I feel like I got to keep some momentum. I stayed training the whole time, and you know, just felt fresh and funky and good with all of the things that I got to add, and you know, keep the things that I had going for me really strong. And yeah, overall, it was a good camp, a good cut. I'm feeling happy, healthy, strong. I have a good system going, good support group. So here we are.
Hey, Kat, over here. Hi. I saw on Instagram that for this camp, you've had some special training partners, Emily Ducote, Angela Hill, etc. How is it working with high quality training talent partners just such as that? It's
great. I mean, it's great working with the talent of all of these girls. A lot of them are a lot smaller than me, so I almost have to give credit to like the beefcakes that were in the gym that aren't on that list as well. You know, so I had a huge variety of training partners this camp. I know that Leah is tall, so I had to bring in some tall people, some tall guys, some tall girls, like, you know, just for relevance, you know, just to figure out how it all relates. And yeah, it was good. It's nice seeing people and being alongside people that work as hard as me. You know, it's a good gauge when you can look around and be like, okay, we're doing this. Okay, if I do a little better than them today, I know I'm doing really good. So yeah, it's great being around like-minded people. Sure.
Thank you. My next question. Nobody wants to give away game plans, but from what you've seen and been able to study about Leah, like, how do you feel your style matches with hers?
I think my style matches great.
She's from Ireland. Are you going to try to have a beer with her after the fight?
You know, I never know how I'm going to feel about opponents after the fight, during the fight, before the fight. I've had experiences where they become my best friend, you know, and I have experiences where I can't stand them, you know, so it's case by case, you know, we'll see though. I was hoping this fight would be in Ireland. I will say that.
Hey, Kat, since you've been the trailblazer for women in MMA and how far it's come, what else would you like to see it happen? What else would you like to see happen in women's MMA?
I I think it's really, really cool to see women corners and coaches. I really like seeing that because it is a different dynamic, and it is a really powerful dynamic. I mean, you see a lot of these fights. The women's fights are so intense, you know, and a lot of people, I even hear a lot of men say they like watching the girls' fights the most because of how like wild and like crazy, you know, and hard everybody goes. And you know, that a lot of that does come from your coaches. A lot of that does come from outside of the box thinking and new thinking. So I think that's really cool. Yeah, I feel like I have a lot of answers for this, but I can't think of all of them right now. This is conversations I've definitely had though.
Last question. It's going to be a simple one. Because you have such a great jiu-jitsu background and training, possibly seeing you go to the ground and see some jiu-jitsu in your match?
I mean, I don't know that I have had a fight that didn't go to the ground much before, but yeah, I'd be surprised if we don't go to the ground, but at the same time, you don't know what two grapplers are going to try to do. So we'll just have to see.
Thank you.
Santiago?
Hi, Kat. Thank you for the time and good to see you back healthy again after 9 months. You always post a lot of training footage of yourself in the pool. Is swimming a big part of your fight camp?
Yeah, it has been for the last few, and it's been really, really fun. You know, it really shows you a lot about what you can get through with just your mind. And when I started this swimming program, I could swim down the pool underwater on one breath, and I could hold my breath for a minute. And I thought that was like incredible. And now I can swim 60 meters underwater on one breath, no fins, and maybe a little over 60 meters. And I can hold my breath 4 minutes and 20 seconds. And a lot of that is just me telling myself, I have 5 more seconds. I have 5 more seconds. And just knowing what your body does and getting used to what your body does and being like, okay, I get like this when things are hard. And I get like this when things are tough. And, you know, just being present and seeing it through and just observing, you know, until you know it's time. And then you come up. So pushing that and doing it in a safe way where, you know, you have support and you have people that are watching your back. And, it was honestly one of the favorite things that I had to look forward to as far as my training week, because it was different. And every practice I do is hard, but it was hard in a way that the others weren't. And it was fun and it was creative and you got to play, and it kind of brought me back to being a kid in a pool. And yeah, it was an integral part of the camp, I think, for sure.
Really happy to hear that you're healthy again. I cannot wait to see you perform again. Good luck on Fight Night, Kat.
Zach?
Hi, Kat. You're the much experienced fighter in this fight. So how do you think your experience will play a factor?
You know, I really can't say. You know, everybody comes in with different things to offer throughout their career. And, you know, I can't speak for her and how she's going to do. All I can say is I came ready and I trained hard, and I treat every fight like it's, you know, moment by moment, kick by kick, punch by punch, shot by shot. And I just got to stay present like that. And, you know, that's where it goes.
Mills?
MMA Locker Room here, part of Puff Sports Radio. How's it going, Kat? All right, so I just have a question. So you spent your whole time pretty much fighting in an organization with the UFC, with owners and you know, conspirators like Dana White. How has Scott Coker treated you over here at this Bellator stage and gave you the platform to pretty much advertise all your sponsors and just have the freedom as a fighter at this point in your career?
Coming over to Bellator with the really deep division at 145 is really cool. I like that this size of women has been promoted and you know, nurtured as far as this promotion goes. I really haven't interacted with Scott much. I think I've met him once. And yeah, for the most part, it's been different in that Bellator is a bit more relaxed than the UFC. And, you know, there are some perks and benefits that, you know, make fighting a lot easier over here, as far as, you know, getting paid better and just being supported more and things like that. And, you know, overall, it's been a positive change. It's been a good thing. And I'm happy to be here.